Okay. So Nirvichara is the samadhi that we have seen earlier. We are on 47 Sutra. The Sutra talks about the dawn of spiritual light after attaining the Nirvichara samadhi. Okay, so Nirvichara, Vaisharadhye. The meaning of the word Vaisharadhye is gaining mastery. On what? On Nirvichara samadhi. When one gets mastery in Nirvichara samadhi, that is when he'll be able to get the spiritual light. Okay, Adhyatma Prasadaha, which is nothing but getting the spiritual wisdom or spiritual light. Okay, so that is what it says. Upon reaching that kind of purity, which is obtained in Nirvichara Samadhi, one gets proficiency and the yogi gains the spiritual light. Okay, because the mind is capable of a very stable flow here. What is that stable flow called? It's called as the Ekagra Avastha. In Nirvichara Samadhi, the yogi's mind is in the Ekagra Avastha. We studied about Chitta Bhumis, and you know that we have the Vikshipta, Vikshipta, Moodha, Kshipta, Moodha, Vikshipta, Ekagra, and Nirudha. So in Ekagra Avastha, the mind becomes quite stable. Okay, the mind becomes quite stable. That kind of steady flow helps in attaining Adhyatma Prasada. Okay, so after becoming absolutely perfect in Nirvichara Samadhi, the first line means that Vaisharadhye, getting perfection in Nirvichara Samadhi. That is when the spiritual light dawns upon the yogi. Okay, so here you need to understand Vaisharadhya in a little bit more deeper way. So Vaisharadhya, what does this word actually mean is, until the point where the yogi entered the Nirvichara Samadhi, even before that, there were impurities in the mind. We have seen in Savitarka and also in Nirvitarka also, there were some kind of impurities. And Savichara also we have seen it is not very perfect. There was a triad of space, time and causation. Right, and whatever was the culmination of that present moment of the space, time, and causation, yogi was able to see only that aspect. But in Nirvichara Samadhi, he is able to see the spiritual light. He is able to see the spiritual light. So the aspects which were delimiting the yogi are now all gone in this stage. But still, he's depending on the evolutes of Prakriti. He's still in the bondage of the evolutes of Prakriti. That is why it is the Nirvichara Samadhi stage and not the Asampragnata Samadhi. Understand that. So Vaisharadhya is the veil of the impurities which are created by the Buddhi, because the Buddhi gets entangled with Rajas and Tamas. When the Buddhi gets entangled with Rajas and Tamas, one cannot gain mastery because the mind field is fully overcome or overpowered by Rajas and Tamas. Only when the veil of that impurity, which is caused by Rajas and Tamas, is gone, that is when the Vaisharadhya, the mastery of the Nirvichara Samadhi, can happen. Getting this? That is why the yogi in Nirvichara Samadhi gets that spiritual clarity. Spiritual clarity is nothing but the Adhyatma Prasada. Okay, there he is able to see the light, which is nothing but the Prajna that is revealed to the yogi. Now, you see, yesterday we were discussing in Nirvichara Samadhi, the light, the luminosity of the sun is seen in the sense of energy, irrespective of the time, space, and other things, other constraints, right? The yogi was able to see the energy, the vibration in the energy from the sun everywhere, in everything, in every aspect, irrespective of all the other aspects, right? So that is nothing but the wisdom that he is able to attain when the mind is completely free of those impurities which are caused by rajas and tamas. That is Vaisharadhye. Okay, so this veil of rajas and tamas would actually disturb the yogi and make him unstable and full of dullness. When those are removed, automatically the spiritual wisdom dawns upon the yogi. Okay, here the buddhi, when the yogi gets that spiritual wisdom, the buddhi becomes totally sattva. You remember when we were discussing the chitta bhumis, we understood that the ekagra avastha, when the yogi is in ekagra avastha, the mind is in which state? The mind is in sattva state, completely sattva state, right? When the mind is in sattva state, that is when the yogi is able to come to the ekagra avastha. So, if you correlate between what we studied in Chitta Bhumis and Nirvichara Samadhi, you can understand that in Ekagra Avastha, when the mind has become, Buddhi has become Sattva, that is when the yogi is able to attain that spiritual wisdom in that Ekagra Avastha. Okay, the mind is not disturbed by any other aspects, like the instability caused by rajas or the dullness which is caused by tamas. Both those aspects are completely gone out of the mind field. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the next sutra talks about Ritambhara Tatra Prajna. What is Ritambhara Tatra Prajna? This is a very important sutra and very interesting also. So here the yogi, after he crosses the Nirvichara Samadhi, what is he experiencing? He's experiencing some kind of wisdom. What is that wisdom and truth? That is a truth. Ritam is the truth. Okay, truth about the universal law, about the divine law. He's able to experience that truth. That truth comes when the yogi's mind is in a certain state. So still in ekagra avastha, this is when after the nirvichara samadhi, the yogi experiences ritambhara. So the yogi is the bearer of that truth. He is able to experience the truth. That is what it means. The yogi is able to experience that truth. He is the bearer of that truth. That is called Ritambhara. Okay, Ritam is the supreme truth. Supreme truth, which is the universal law or the divine law. Okay, he is able to experience that truth. When he is able to experience that truth, it is called as Ritambhara. Sorry.
Ma'am, that
Yeah.
that real truth is called Ritambara, or that state is called by that knowing the experience of truth is called, that state is called Ritambara, or that real truth?
1 second. Let me just take this call. 1 second. Yeah. So, yeah, somebody had a question.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just asking that what they said is the experience. Which after Nirvichara Samadhi, the yogi will able to experience that real truth.
Yes.
That Ritambara is the word which is the real truth or the experience, that state of is it a state?
See, this is an aspect. The truth, irrespective of the yogi's experience, the truth is truth, right?
Okay. What I'm asking,
Irrespective
that
of the
Ritambara word means real truth or is it a stage?
Ritambhara is the yogi's experience of the spiritual truth. The spiritual truth is always there, irrespective of the yogi. Let the yogi be there, or without the yogi, also the spiritual truth will always be there. Okay, but when will a person really be able to experience that truth? When he's in nirvichara samadhi, in a particular state of mind with a particular consciousness, he will be able to experience that spiritual truth. So here the yogi is the one who acquiring that experience. Okay, the truth will always be there, irrespective. See, whether we are there or not, the truth will be there, right?
Yes.
The universe will continue to exist. Whether the yogi is there or not, the universe will continue to exist. But for this yogi, it is making a difference. What is it? Because of his state of consciousness, because of the level of consciousness that he is in, he is able to grasp that subtle supreme truth which is called Rita. Rita is the supreme truth. Ritambhara is the word that is used for explaining about the bearer of the truth. Who is the bearer of the truth here? The yogi. The yogi is the one who acquires that truth. That is Ritambhara. He's filled with the spiritual truth.
So that yogi can be called as a Ritambara.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah. Clear?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Yeah. So that is what it is. Tatra is there. Okay, tatra is there. And prajna, you know, is wisdom. Okay, wisdom about the supreme truth. So there the super consciousness becomes full of cosmic experience. Clear? So as I told, let me speak a little bit more about the word Rita. It is nice to understand about this word because it is coming in a lot of Upanishads also. This Rita word was used in a lot of ancient texts like the Rig Veda. Okay, this Rita word was used to indicate the supreme truth. You see this word coming many times in the Rig Veda, Rita. So in Nirvichara Samadhi, this kind of wisdom occurs where the yogi is the bearer of that supreme truth. That is the level of his consciousness at this time. Okay, after having passed all the lower stages, he is at a stage where he has understood that he can grasp the supreme truth. He is at the level where he can actually grasp that supreme truth. Okay, that is what is said here. There's nothing more to it. But in this state, there is not even a trace of the falsified knowledge. He is completely clear with what is the reality, the supreme truth. He is very clear with that. There is not an iota of falsified knowledge. Getting it? So this Rita is praised in all those scriptures. Wherever it is used, it is like put in a very, very high note. It is all praised everywhere. So much so that it is included in many of the hymns that we see in the Rig Veda. So you can understand the kind of meaning this word might denote. So Rita, for you to remember, you should just have the supreme truth or the universal law or the divine law in your mind when you remember the word Rita. So Ritambhara is the yogi who has acquired the experience of Rita. the spiritual knowledge, spiritual truth. Clear? So I'm going to the next one. So the person who has Rita will never be illusioned by Vikalpa or Viparyaya. These aspects will not disturb him. He will be very clear about the supreme truth. Now, the next sutra is about the characteristics of this experience. Now, what is the Ritambhara experience exactly like? Okay, they are trying to explain that it is not having certain characteristics which are used in a common understanding of mankind. What are those common aspects that we use for understanding anything? We go with Shruti. Shruti is that which we have heard. Anumana is based on the knowledge that we have acquired. There is some kind of inference that we make. Shruta, Anumana, Prajnabhyam. So, from the two types of consciousness, Shruta, Anumana, Prajnabhyam, Anya Vishaya, Vishesharthatvat. So, Shruta is learning by hearing. We know that Shruti is nothing but hearing, the sense of hearing. So, learning by hearing or learning from an inference from these two kinds of wisdoms, Anya Vishaya, having different or other objects in that realm or domain, Vishesharthatvat, which is the significance because of having special purpose. Now, what it is trying to say is the knowledge that Rita indicates is different from the knowledge that we acquire out of the Shruti and Anumana. It is not the knowledge that we acquire out of hearing and out of inference. This kind of knowledge, Rita, is very different. It is of a special kind. It is of a special kind. It cannot be taught by anybody. We cannot infer out of some other knowledge about Rita. Rita is an experience which is very, very, very special. Okay, here the illumination happens because of the sattvic nature of buddhi. When we are hearing or learning from hearing someone, the buddhi is never sattva. Buddhi is all, it is having rajas, tamas, everything in it. When we hear somebody say something, right? But in the experience of Rita, the yogi's buddhi is completely filled with sattva. That is the experience that because of that sattva, his experience of the truth is totally different from the knowledge acquired from the Shruti and Anumana. Okay, Kritika, one second. Kritika, just give me a second. Yeah, take it. She sent the link. Please take your books.
That's not the whatever.
Yeah. So this is a different kind of knowledge. This is not the knowledge that we generally get from listening to somebody or from inferring some other kind of content that we have learned. No, this is not that kind of knowledge. They're trying to make it clear that Rita is a very different and a special kind of knowledge. This knowledge will be acquired only when the hello. Kritika, can you join? Yeah. So this is a different kind of knowledge. This kind of oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just take this copy.
Hello.
Sorry about that. So, did you understand that this is different from the knowledge that is acquired generally, like listening to some teacher speaking about something and understanding it from there and inferring something from there is completely different from having a very sattvic state of mind and having a direct experience of the spiritual truth. Are you understanding the difference? That is Rita. That is Rita. That is the characteristic. That is the uniqueness of Rita. This is very low level. As you can see, the knowledge that we acquire by listening to somebody and the inferences that we make are all low level. But this kind of knowledge that is acquired when the yogi is in a completely sattvic state of buddhi is, I can say it's par excellence. There's nothing more to it. Like he's attaining the supreme knowledge in that state of buddhi. That is Ritambara. So this knowledge which is acquired by Rita, that comes out of the mind, and it is completely only after having the mind completely purified. So there is no other vritti going on in the mind. There is no other guna in the mind except sattva. In that kind of mind, Rita dawns, or it manifests. Okay, kind of the yogi is able to see that kind of wisdom. So I'm going to the next one. So there's no anumana and no shruti. Okay, no shruta and anumana. That is the characteristic of Rita. Tajya samskaro anya samskara pratibandhi, which is the 50th sutra. Now, what does the 50th sutra say? Tajya samskara. Tajya means born out of that wisdom. Which kind of wisdom? The kind of wisdom that we have seen, the spiritual truth. Okay, born out of that kind of wisdom is the samskara related to the samadhi. So here all other samskaras are kind of getting I can say annulled. Annulled is destroyed. All other samskaras get destroyed, and only the samskaras that lead to samadhi, those samskaras are encouraged. Okay, those samskaras are given power. Those samskaras are practiced by the yogi more and more. So I'll repeat the sutra once again. Tajya samskara. So wisdom that arises from the samadhi samskara. Wisdom that is born out of the samadhi samskara. It is very different from the anya samskara, and those anya samskaras are completely impeded. They are stopped. The other samskaras are completely stopped. Okay. Why? Because the yogi is encouraging only the samskaras which will put him into the samadhi state. He is not letting the mind think about anything else. He's not letting the mind dwell in anything else. So there are only samskaras related to the samadhi aspect. That is what it means. Now, these samskaras produced from samadhi wisdom, what do? They kind of oppose all the other samskaras. The one who's interested, very deeply rooted with the samadhi samskaras, he will not let the other samskaras come into his mind. Right? So that is what is happening.
Samskara, can we think that it is a thought?
Samskaras are something which are, you can think it is a subtle aspect. It is related to the subtler aspects which we cannot directly see, but with the samskaras only, there is some kind of behavior that we see in the person. Okay, some kind of, I can say, mental attitude, a deep-rooted mental attitude. Okay, because of that deep-rooted mental attitude, what we see manifesting from that person is a particular kind of behavior. If there was not that mental attitude, we wouldn't see a certain kind of behavior. For example, a person who's always thinking ill about others, what do we see? He will start talking bad about others. He will start harming others. He will start doing wrong to others. Getting it? So that mental attitude, which is very deeply rooted in the mind of a person, is called as a samskara. Now, samskaras are not starting in a particular birth. Samskaras go on from birth to birth. They are like transcending from one birth to another birth. They get carry forward. Okay, they are not just part of this one birth. They are an accumulation of several past births. We have so many samskaras accrued through the births that we have had in the past. Getting it, Shravani?
Yes, ma'am.
Samskara, you can think samskara to be a deep-rooted mental attitude. Because of that samskara only, the behavior, certain kind of behavior will emerge out of that person. Without that samskara, we don't see that behavior. Now, a person who's very gentle and polite, his mind also might be like that. His attitude is like, his attitude or behavior is like that because his mind might be like that. What is happening in his mind is deeply rooted, and that deeply rooted attitude, mental attitude, is called samskara. So here in the sutra, what it is the person sanskaras, the adi sanskaras become more powerful, and they become so powerful that they impede the growth of other samskaras. He will not let the other samskaras creep up. Okay, he's trying to get rid of
And
the
your
other
voice is
samskaras.
breaking, I think.
Is the case with all the others?
Yes, ma'am.
Is my voice
Yes.
breaking?
Yes.
Do you want me to repeat this once again? Until what point did you understand? Can I repeat what I said? Just repeat. Samskaro, anya samskara pratibandhi. Just repeat what it is.
Breaking, ma'am.
It's breaking. So let's wait for a bit. Maybe the signal isn't very good. Just give me a minute. Let me just check. Let me just check. Is it better now? Hello. Is it better now?
Yes, ma'am. Please stop.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So any one of you, can you just say what I last said, like until which point you understood? I'll know that. Quick, don't take so long.
Ma'am, for me, Sutra 50 is not clear. This one.
It's not clear. So I read that one. Tajya samskaro, anya samskara pratibandhi. So out of this, out of all these experiences that the yogi has had, he is able to only encourage samadhi samskaras. All the other samskaras are prevented or impeded. Why? Because he's only encouraging and giving power to the samadhi samskaras. He's making his mind very strong on samadhi samskaras, the behavior which is needed for samadhi. So when he's encouraging the samadhi samskaras, automatically he prevents all other samskaras. He's not interested in anything else. That is what it means.
Conscious means that means it's lower. Huh?
Repeat what you said. Can you?
Can we say that it prevents other states of conscious means that which is lower than this dynamic main
He
main
will
concept.
obviously stop all the Vyuthana samskaras. Vyuthana is the ones which are falling down, from where he is falling down from the Ekagra Avastha, he's going into Vikshipta, then he's going into Mudha, he's going into Kshipta. He will not let all that happen because he's very determined about the samskara that is related to Samadhi, and he is always in Ekagra Avastha. Okay, so in that avastha, he will only encourage the samskaras, which are the deeply rooted mental attitudes, just relating to samadhi. So when he's sticking to that, it means that he's omitting all other samskaras, right? Automatically, all other samskaras are avoided. Clear with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what about the others? Is it clear? Anybody has any questions on this?
Clear, ma'am.
Clear, ma'am.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, so we'll go to the next sutra, which is the sutra about asampragnata samadhi. This is the only sutra apart from sutra number 18 which talks about asampragnata samadhi. Now, this sutra says tasyapi nirodhe, tasya api. Tasya is of that, of what? Of the samadhi samskaras. In the previous sutra, what did we see? We saw that through the samadhi samskaras, the person is going deeper and deeper into the aspects of samadhi. So of that is related to the previous sutra. Of that is what? Of the samadhi samskaras. So nirodha, he's blocking, isn't it? He's blocking. Sarva nirodhan. Okay, he's blocking or seizing all other aspects. Okay, sarva nirodhan. That creates, when he's blocking all other samskaras, that attitude creates nirbija samadhi. That kind of mental attitude creates nirbija. Nirbija is he's not basing his meditation or his practice on anything. Why? Because he's understood that this is he doesn't need that wisdom also which he has attained. He doesn't want Ritambara Prajna also. Okay, he doesn't want Ritambara Prajna because he knows that he has understood Prakriti is very different. Everything related to Prakriti, even the highest knowledge of Prakriti is not what he's looking for. He is looking for the aspect of Purusha. He wants to completely dwell in Purusha. Okay, when he wants to dwell in Purusha, which is the third sutra. What is the third sutra? What is the third sutra? Tadadrashta Avasthanam, right? So what is his goal? We started with that, right? What is his goal? His goal is to Tadadrashtu Swarupe Avasthanam. He wants to dwell in that Purusha. He wants to dwell in that pure consciousness. That is his goal. And when he is coming into that aspect, he doesn't need Prakriti's evolutes or any support. Right? So when he's in that stage, it is called as Nirbija Samadhi. So here everything else is blocked. Even the Samadhi Samskaras are also blocked completely. He's not even looking for Samadhi Samskaras. He's not even craving or looking for Samadhi Samskaras. He leaves those Samskaras also. When he leaves those Samskaras also, he's in a state of Bija Samadhi. Clear? So, to put it in a nutshell, this samadhi, which is the asampragnata samadhi, also known as the nirbija samadhi. This samadhi, what it does is, it opposes the samadhi wisdom also. We have seen in the last sutra that the yogi is attaining wisdom related to samadhi, and he's encouraging the samadhi samskaras. Now, when it comes to the Nirbija Samadhi, he's also not interested in Samadhi wisdom. He's not interested in Samadhi Samskaras also. He's not interested in any of these because Nirodha Samskara, when he's thinking that, he's blocking everything else. The Nirodha Samskara stop even the Samadhi Samskaras. Getting it? Here, the Nirodha Samskaras take a strong plunge. Like he is deeply empowered by the Nirodha Samskaras. Now he knows that he doesn't even want to encourage the Samadhi Samskaras. He's only basing himself on the Nirodha Samskaras, which will stop even the Samadhi generated Samskaras. Okay. So what is the purpose of creating Samadhi Samskaras in Samprajnata Samadhi? Can you just think of that? What is the purpose of creating Samadhi Samskaras? From the
To break oneself. To that Prakriti came into the
Samadhi Samskaras are basically created to eliminate the minefields, adhikara, empowerment. Okay, the Samadhi Samskaras will actually make the minefield to move away from everything else and create the ekagrata avastha. Okay, and because the minefield always provides experiences of what? Of the material world. Minefield always provides experiences of the material world, the bhoga aspect to the purusha. So that is the whole purpose of the material world. It is actually showing all the material aspects to the purusha. And when you are in the nirodha state, we don't want that. We want to block all those aspects. We don't want anything related to bhoga. So that is when the yogi goes into apavarga. Okay, he is not interested in any of the aspects which are evolutes of prakriti or coming from the material thing. Okay, he has understood that prakriti is very different from purusha, and my purpose is to abide in the purusha, dwell in the purusha. So I let go, I leave everything which is related to purusha. Even the samadhi samskaras are also related to purusha, because that there still the buddhi is active. We are taking the support of buddhi. When it comes to nirbija, the nirodha samskaras take a strong plunge. So they take a strong basis, and then from those nirodha samskaras, the yogi will enter into the nirbija state. He is not taking support of even the buddhi. He knows that the buddhi is also an evolute of prakriti. I don't even need the support of buddhi. He let go of the buddhi aspect also and completely dwells in the purusha. That is called as the nirbija samadhi. Clear? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So if this is clear, we have come to the end of the first chapter, which is the Samadhi Pada. This was the definition of Samprajnata Samadhi. So the aim of Samadhi, aim of the yogi was to dwell in the Purusha. Tadadrashtu Swarupe Avasthanam. He wanted to abide in the Purusha. And in the last sutra, which is the Asamprajnata Samadhi, by blocking all other things, and he is encouraging only the Nirodha Samskaras and going into the Nirbija Avastha, Nirbija state. So after the Ekagrata Avastha, what is the next state that we have learned in Chitta Bhumis? Nirodha Avastha, right? So in Nirodha Avastha, what did we understand? We understood that the aspects of gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, all the three are gone, and the person becomes gunatita. He's not depending on the gunas also. There's no influence of gunas. He has moved beyond the influence of gunas. That state is called as Nirodha Avastha. In that Nirodha Avastha, there manifests the Nirbija Samadhi or the Asamprajnata Samadhi. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt in any of the sutras? Should we revise? Yeah.
Would you just explain 48th sutra again? Actually, my network was not working at that time, so I missed the starting one. Like I have the idea, but I just want sort of explanation, or if you can.
The 48th sutra, which is Ritambhara,
Yes, ma'am.
Ritambhara Tatra Prajna.
Yes, ma'am.
So Ritambhara is nothing but the bearer of the truth. Who is the bearer of the truth? The yogi is the bearer of the truth. That is Ritambhara. Tatra prajna is, there comes a wisdom when the yogi is able to experience that truth. That wisdom is called as prajna. There arises that wisdom which comes out of knowing the spiritual truth. That is that prajna. Ritambhara tatra prajna. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So quickly start. Who wants to explain 47th Sutra? Nirvichara Vaisharadhya Adhyatma Prasadaha.
Okay, ma'am. May I will do.
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Nirvichara Vaisharadhya Adhyatma Prasada. So here, in Nirvichara state, yogi is gain mastery to get the spiritual light. Adhyatma Prasada means spiritual light. Vaisharadhya, in Vaisharadhya state means Rajas and Tamas gunas are completely removed. Only Sattvic guna is here. So after absolutely perfecting Nirvichara Samadhi, yogi is mastery to attain the spiritual light. And here this spiritual light is, we can call that Krutambara Pragya.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Who wants to go with the 48th Sutra? Please start off. Sakshi, can you explain this?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. So when yogi cross over the Nirvichara Samadhi, he will be experiencing the supreme truth, and that is known as Ritambhara, right, ma'am?
Yes, the yogi himself is called Ritambhara. The spiritual truth is Rita.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Because the yogi
Yeah.
experiences the spiritual truth, he is called as Ritambhara. He's filled with the spiritual wisdom.
Yeah.
Explain now. Now you explain.
So when the yogi crosses the Nirvichara Samadhi, he will be experiencing the supreme truth, and then he will be known as Ritam, right?
He is known as Ritambhara.
And Ritambhara. Acha, Ritam is the knowledge. Okay, the supreme truth.
Yes, the
And yogi will be
spiritual
known
truth
as the Ritam.
Yes, yes, yes. Clear?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
49th Sutra. Please go ahead with the 49th Sutra. Quick.
This sutra tells about the knowledge that is attained by a Ridambara. So here it is telling what is Shruta, heard, and what is Anumana, inference. Both Shruta and Anumana knowledge are not what one gets from Ridambara Prajna. So Ritam is the special experience. This knowledge is different from the knowledge acquired through testimony and inference because it has a special object. So it is direct experience of the general truth. Such a yogi is at the stage of full knowledge.
Can you also explain about the aspect of ekagra and also the buddhi that I explained? I said that the buddhi is in a sattvic state, right? Why is it different? Now you have to question yourself, why is Ritambhara, the knowledge related to Rita, different from the knowledge that we receive from Shruta and Anumana? Why is it different? I gave a reason for that.
Yeah, whatever we get from Shruta and Anumana are mixed with the Prakriti. It is mixed with the Tamas and Rajas. So Ritambara is completely Sattvic knowledge.
Ritambhara, the Rita will only be able to come to the yogi when his buddhi is in a sattvic state. When would the buddhi be in a sattvic state? When he is in the ekagrata avastha, no? When the yogi is in the ekagra avastha, that is when the buddhi becomes sattvic. When the buddhi becomes sattvic, that is when he is able to experience ritam.
Yes.
Okay, so you should be very clear about these two aspects. Like, why does it become, why is Ritambhara different from Shruta and Anumana? There is a difference in the state of mind. The state of consciousness is very different in Shruta and Anumana versus the Ritambhara. Okay, 49th is over. 50, Sutra number 50, please explain.
Ma'am.
Yeah, whoever didn't explain, please, we'll give chance to those.
Okay, ma'am.
50, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. If we read 50 Sutra, Tajjah Sanskara, Anya Sanskara, Pratibandhi. Here, Yogi, all the sanskaras is eliminated. Those sanskaras means Bhuthana Sanskara, means again it will make to Yogi fall down. These all sanskaras are eliminated by the Yogi. Only Yogi encouraging that sanskara which leads to him Samadhi Sanskara, which leads to
Yes.
Samadhi. Only Samadhi Sanskara Yogi is encouraging his mind.
Exactly. Good. 50 verse sutra. Shravani, can you explain this?
Shravani ma'am is not here. I thought. Let me check. Yes, Shravani ma'am is not here, ma'am. She left.
Okay. So who wants to do this? Whoever is left in the. Do we have? Sarika explained, right? Shuja left?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So who wants to explain? Lipalika, would you want to explain? Sakshi
Ma'am, can
Pandey,
I?
do you want to?
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
please do it. Yeah.
yeah. So here is saying that yogi is talking all of his sanskaras which he had in his all his yogic life, and he just want to dwell himself into the Purusha's state. Uh, that and
Your
then
voice
he
is
will
not clear,
get.
Sakshi. Your voice is actually breaking. It's not clear. Is it happening with all the others also? Are
Yes,
you able to hear her
yes,
well?
Yes, ma'am.
her voice is breaking actually.
Okay. Can
Ma'am,
Sarika explain?
Yeah, tasyapi nirodhe sarva nirodha nirbija samadhi. So tasya is of that. So of after the nirodha of even the samadhi samskara, then we attain the nirbija samadhi. So
Yeah.
once yogi is when once he free himself from the samadhi samskara, he completely dwell in purusha. So samadhi
Hmm.
samskara is free mind from any experience of the world. So to get
Yeah.
mind to the ekagra state, uh,
Niruddha,
so this
Niruddha
niruddha,
avastha.
yeah,
He is
yeah.
no more in
So
ekagra
when
avastha. So when he enters the niruddha avastha, that is when he is not in the influence of gunas. All the three gunas fall off. No sattva also. No sattva, no rajas, no tamas. There's no influence of the gunas in niruddha avastha.
yeah, so he comes to nirodha samskara, then he sees the purusha.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is the purpose is met. The goal of the yogi is met.
Yeah,
Yeah. So no doubts, right? Should we end the class now?
yes,
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
please sit straight. Yeah, please sit straight. Adopt Namaskara Mudra. Gently close your eyes. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Gently open your eyes. Thank you all so much. Shivratri.
Thank you, ma'am.
Happy
Thank
weekend.
you, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Bye.